Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life of Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic for this week, I like to say if you'd like to know what Life of Living Well do as a community, you can check it out on our website at www.lifeoflivingwell.com. If you would like also to be the first to get the weekly article that we release regarding each of the podcasts that we release as well in the week, you can just enter your email in the box on the website, and then we will be able to get this article weekly. And let's dive in without taking much of your time. So the topic I'm looking at this week is what I call intrinsic power of learning. Again, so we call it intrinsic power of learning. So what are the power that are associated from learning? And it's not just learning, it's how you implement what you have learned and how you fully understood it. That's what will make a difference to your environment, to yourself, and to the things that you wanted to do. So as we normally do is to take one individual inspirational and use their word and their life as an inspiration for the message and then build around it. So for this podcast this week, we taking from Jiddu Krishnamurti. And what does it say about power of learning? It was put this way: there is no end to education. It is not that you read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life, from the moment you are born to the moment you die, is a process of learning. And if you imagine it, for those who have toddler, for those who work with children, just take a step back and see how often you guide them, how often you provide safeguarding for them, how often you influence what they eat for one reason or the other. You are educating them until they get to the point where they're able to do this thing for themselves or for ourselves. So the whole of life is all about learning until we are no longer here anymore. And it's easier to embrace if we understand that. If we fail to understand it, it's really difficult to embrace the mindset of learning. Even our setback is a teacher to teach us something. People that we work with, people that we call friends, our families. So we have so many areas where we can learn from. So the habit of learning is something we can all embrace. And why did I say that? It's simply because each day brings the opportunity to learn. Whether you're walking in the nature or driving on the road, if you just being present, there will be things that you could learn from. Whether we like it or not. So, have you ever wondered why some people make the same mistakes repeatedly? Someone once told me that she has a habit of choosing the wrong romantic partners. And the way she narrated this is, if you have 7 people in the rooms and the 6 are good people for her, but she will only choose the one person that is not good for her, and that is the person she will choose. It was amazing insight that she had about her own romantic experience, but she is not willing to do anything about it. She has an insight, but having an insight is not enough when you don't do anything about it. And it is important to cultivate the habit of learning before we can begin to see the power that are associated with learning. Because don't forget that we all carry one or two or many erroneous beliefs from our childhood to our adulthood. Someone once told me that the reason why he stays so long in a relationship that really damages his mental health, damages finances, making him sad all the time, is because his parents broke up when he was 14 years old. And when he was 14 years old, he said to himself that he will not marry someone that comes from his race. He will do everything within his own power to make sure that when he married, his marriage will remain the same. So he got to the adult. At the age of 29, he got married. And the partner or wife he chose was slightly different from the background and the experience that he had as a child. But it was carrying erroneous belief that because of the race of his parents, that's the reason why they behave the way they are. That's the reason why they were so immature in their relationship, how they handle conflict, how they solve a conflict, that they are so toxic for environment for a child to grow up. So in his mind that if he just do the opposite, if he just give everything will work out. He only find out after 11 years in marriage that at the end it doesn't work like that. If you are immature and you have not worked on yourself to develop yourself, to grow yourself, to manage or overgrow your immaturity, you end up replicating the same thing you don't want in his life, in your life. So for his own experience, he also developed immaturity. He carried immaturity to his marriage. And he married a woman that is also immature. So they create a different toxicity that his own parent created when he was growing up. And only after, and he hold on to that marriage as a trophy, that in as much that he doesn't break, it means he's done well than his parent. But his mental health is suffering. His emotional well-being is suffering because it was so value-wise, they want totally different things. And as a result of that, they hurt each other. They create a lot of painful experience for each other. And they only begin to grow as a person, expanding as a person, becoming the person that he dreamed to become. Is only when he walk away from that marriage and he realized how much immaturity of his own And when you are in that level, it's very difficult to know whether the person you chose is also immature because you yourself have not dealt with your immaturity. You choose a partner based on the look or how they make you feel. So, only when you learn what it takes to be in a relationship, what it takes to take accountability and responsibility, he do everything to work toward that. And then suddenly things that become very attractive to him from others that are immature like him is so repellent. He doesn't see it attractive anymore. And he cannot explain what changed. What changed is because he's gone back to the roots and he has worked on himself and he has developed himself to the point that he can function as adequate individual. And I tell you this, nothing enlightens the soul like learning. The ability to establish an understanding of previously unknown object and concept. What we don't know, we don't know. And in the absence of knowledge and understanding, what do you think occupy that space? It's only fear and ignorance. And these two energies can hold you back from many opportunities. Last year, I said to my family, let's make a trip to Scotland. And we did not want to do the trip like we used to do it before. So we look at the things we never done before. We never go camping. So we look around how to get a camper van. So we got a camper van for a few days and we went to camping site. So we book a slot and park there. We see other people's how they, because it's a surreal experience for us. It's not something that we used to or done before. And we see people how they relax, disconnecting from their phone, reading the books, play with their pet, play with their family. It's just surreal experience. And we sat there, we consume it. It's like a student that just arrived to the class. And we said to ourselves, so this is another way people can relax at the same time. And the experience was something that's part of us, even till now. And this kind of experience can never be given to you on the classroom or in your home watching the TV. You have to experience it yourself. And so that's how we spent the bank holiday last year. One of the bank holiday last year, to just go away from home for a few days and try the camping van. And it was fun. As I'm conscious of the time, the good news is that as humans, we are naturally adaptable and often require challenges, adversity, and emotional pain to unleash our courage, resilience, and the need for change. We can and should embrace learning because through it, we can unlock many doors that were previously closed to us. And finally, just remember, many previous generations did not have access to travel, information, healthcare, entrepreneurship, peace, relationships, books, or even the internet. Today, we have access to an abundance of information, yet many still know very little. Learning helps us bridge the gap in our understanding of the world and how things happen. So embrace it. And I always remember someone said, you have no advantage over someone that cannot read. If you yourself don't read and if you can read but you don't read, you have no advantage over someone that don't read. So I hope this message helps someone. Until we meet again, please stay safe. May your week goes well. Have a wonderful time. Ciao.